All out of state, doing it then they never seen that. Ain't fat, Joe, and snap your fingers, then you lean back. All out of state, doing it then they never seen that. Ain't fat, Joe, and snap your fingers, then you lean back.
Hello and welcome to Viti Vibes. I'm your host Pranay Sharma,
And I'm Rebecca Singh.
and this is the show that brings education, issues, and conversation about the youth into one show. Being youth is not easy, and that's why we're here. We're going to talk about our experiences and our challenges. So,
Remember that our show doesn't only cater towards Fijian youth, but it's also looking forward for the youth to get involved. So, if you'd like to join by coming on board as a host or even working behind the scenes, feel free to reach out at vitivibes.tv@gmail.com.
So, did you know that very soon children from the ages of 6 to 11 will be able to get the vaccine? Pfizer has already been approved, but we're still waiting on government approval. So, what do you guys all think? Do you think it would be better off that kids now are going to have the COVID-19 vaccine? And will this help people not get COVID?
With that being said, we all hope that everyone that's watching has a safe and a happy Halloween. If you're going trick-or-treating, make sure you wear reflectors so that people can see you when you're going door to door or crossing the street. Also, make sure an adult checks your goodies before you eat them.
Yup. So, Rebecca, do you still go trick-or-treating? And if you do, what's your favorite candy?
I haven't gone trick-or-treating. The last time I went was back in grade 9, so it was like 3 years ago now.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and my favorite candy, though, is Kit Kat, for sure.
To be honest, I love Kit Kat too. It's a really good candy. Chocolate, but you know what I mean.
I do.
Also, we have some public service announcements so please jot them down. If you're celebrating any special events such as birthdays, graduations, please send that to us and we would be more than pleased to share it with our crew and the audience as well. Also, if you're organizing any events in your community, please let us know. Send that information to us at vitivibestv@gmail.com.
SEED Employment Program is back to recruiting new youth for their program. The SEED Youth Employment is a 6-week government-funded training program that targets the youth ages between 15 and 30 who are looking for at least over 35 hours of work per week. The next online training program starts on November 8, 2021. You can join one of their information sessions held via Zoom every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Or you can connect with Ashna Kumar at 604-281-0768 for more information.
The Indo-Fijian Surrey of Pocket Paradise exhibit is opened on the Museum of Surrey, which is located at 11710 56A Street in Surrey. This exhibit will be displayed until December 19th of this year. To talk more about this exhibit, our director Shannon is joined by the organizer Rizwan Abbas and showcased artist within the museum, Sheetal Naker. Please have a look.
Hello and welcome back to Viti Vibes TV. I'm your director Shannon Permal, and today in our studio we have two special guests. Their names are Sheetal Naker and Rizwan Abbas. So hello you two.
Hello.
Hi. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
It's very nice having you both here, and I'm very excited to get to talk to you guys more about something that you've been working on for quite some time, and it's actually an Indo-Fijian museum exhibit, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get more into that, but first I want to ask you guys to kind of introduce yourselves to our audience, tell them a little bit more about yourselves, so either one of you can go ahead first.
Go ahead, Rizwan.
Ladies first.
Oh, ladies first. My name is Sheetal Naker. As Shannon mentioned, I am a jeweler. And I went to school for 2 years, got my diploma, and maybe like 8 years ago now, and just been diving in as much as I can in different ways and exploring my own abilities and trying to share our story and trying to bring out both sides of our heritage because we are Indo-Fijians. So I like to use the line formations in the Fijian art and our shapes and jewelry styles in the Indian side. So, yeah.
Rizwan?
Hi everyone, my name is Rizwan. I'm a archaeologist. I've been working in the consulting archaeology world for about 20 years now. And I have a bachelor's degree from Simon Fraser University, Simon Fraser, and master's from the University College in London. I'm actually quite happy to say that I share the distinction of being an alumni with Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela as well, who graduated from UCL. And I got my professional specialization degree in collections management here at University of Victoria just recently, and that was one of the things that I kind of shifted my career from archaeology to more interaction with people and in the museum culture, and took that program and then eventually it just so happened that I could do the exhibit here, and here we are doing the Indo-Fijian exhibit.
Yeah, so my question to you, so as an archaeologist, like, what is your specialization, hard to say that word right now, or like branch that you kind of like study or work with?
Well, as a consulting archaeologist, I did a lot of my archaeology work in northeastern BC in the oil patch.
Okay.
We did a lot of surveying for oil and gas for companies, where they would go out and map out the area where they were going to build their infrastructure for their mining, and we'd go in and make sure they weren't disturbing any archaeological sites beforehand. Most of that was done in the northeast, but I've done archaeological surveys all over BC, in every corner of the province, to be honest with you.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Sheetal, you're actually a jeweler, like you said, but you're also a very like creative person besides being a jeweler. So do you want to share a little bit more about your other hobbies and interests?
I'm all over the map. I don't know. I love writing. I love singing. I love photography. We've done a photo shoot together where you were my wonderful, beautiful model. And I just love connecting it all together as much as I can and bringing people together and sharing our skills, and I know it's fun. It's been a great journey.
Yeah, like you said, like it's a beautiful thing bringing people together, and that's exactly what you guys ended up doing with this exhibit, the Indo-Fijian exhibit. So it is called the Indo-Fijian Surrey's Pocket of Paradise.
That's right.
So I kind of want to first ask you, how did you both end up meeting, and how did that transpire into you guys working together on this museum exhibit?
Through the exhibit we met, actually. We'd never met before.
Okay.
Yeah, we were two individuals who just happened to apply for the same thing, and the coordinator sent us the application directly to be like, you guys should apply individually, of course, and then once everything was finalized, he got the main go-ahead that, you're going to do this, and then, we got introduced.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Museum Surrey has this program. It's called the Community Treasures exhibit, and any person from the community can volunteer to do an exhibit, and that's what we both decided to do, was to volunteer, and they put us together, and we collaborated and came up with something really great. I think.
Really blessed that we met, actually, because I think that moment when everything came together and we started connecting and building this, I don't know, something happened, and then we just built a community around it, and now we have this crew, I would like to say. And we have like-minded individuals that want to build the same future for our community here. So
Yeah, that's awesome. So my first question actually is going to be kind of like your opinion. So what do you, both of you respectively, think makes Indo-Fijians unique?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that do. That's a great question, because a lot of people ask that question, and to me now it seems like it's pretty obvious what it is, but it's not.
Yeah.
But our language, first of all, is something that's very unique. Our food is something that's very different, especially in the South Asian community here in Surrey or in the Lower Mainland. The seafoods, for example, that we have, or some of the tubers and the root foods that we have from the islands and the indigenous Fijians, is something that's different for what we have. Our music is different. Some of our just the fact that we are minorities within a minority has been something that makes us have something that we share. It's a shared quality. I think if you get to know somebody who's Indo-Fijian, you get to realize that there's a difference, and it's something that I think I appreciate. Yeah.
What about you, Sheetal?
for me, there would be two things. One, we are a group of people who are very worldwide now because of migration.
Yeah.
Because things didn't work out in Fiji for many people, we are all over the world and building our little communities like Surrey all over the world. So that's pretty cool. The other thing for me is because most of us grew up poor. We, middle class, or basically middle class poor kind of level. We didn't grow up with money and just coming to Canada and just having everything we wanted. So we've always had to build everything from scratch, and that for me was a big inspiration for my pieces, because I wanted to show that we can take something that's broken and turn it into something beautiful. And so that's what I did with the kava coconut nangona bowls. I smashed them and used them in my pieces. So yeah, I think when you go to like a Fijian event, it's made with a lot of love. When you go there, you'll see like someone in your family made the food, someone in your family helped with the decoration, someone helped MC the event, and someone was DJing, and they're all your uncles or aunts or someone or cousins that's taking the picture. So we build each other together and work together with whatever skills that we've gained, and we're definitely masters of many trades, I feel.
You know, absolutely. I totally agree with you on that one. So in regard to the exhibit that you guys put together, who did like the historical research behind it and like all that? Yeah, so you. So have you been doing like Indo-Fijian research for like your whole life, or like is this just something you recently like decided to delve into?
No, it was actually quite recent. I was having a conversation with my dad. He recently passed away in December. And we were having a conversation, and I was explaining to him. We had the opportunity where I could finally explain to him what I did as an archaeologist. And while I was explaining, I study First Nations, for example. I came to the realization myself that I should be studying my own culture, and more than that, my dad's culture. And lo and behold, 2 days later was when the Surrey Museum emailed me back saying, "Hey, you got accepted for this exhibit." So it was just fate that that got rolling. And then, as I was doing the research for that, I got contacted by the director of the South Asian Studies Institute at the University of the Fraser Valley as well, and they asked me to write a chapter for their social history book on South Asians, on the Indo-Fijian people. So that kind of got me more into doing the research on an academic level. So the research that I did, it took about I'd say about 6 months of research to get all the historical facts together and get that compiled. But once I got the research out of the way, it was the story was there. The story had been there from day one, and it was just to get the research done, to put it down and lay it out.
Yeah, and just put it together. Yeah, so I was gonna ask a little bit more about the behind the scenes, but like process, but you kind of touched on that. So Sheetal, I kind of want to ask you like your little behind the scenes, because you were featured as an artist in this exhibit as well. So what did your behind the scenes process of like your contribution to the museum look like?
Wherever Rizwan let me, to be honest, like, just because, like, that was his side of the thing, and I wanted him to obviously, like, I'm not, like, a meddler in that way, so he did thankfully let me be a part of just, like, brainstorming and just seeing how we wanted to present it, like, when we were setting up together. That was pretty cool, just spending time at the museum and placing it in certain ways and stuff. But, yeah, my main thing was just to make sure my pieces were there on time and share my story.
I can add that there's a Fiji plate in the exhibit, and it gets a lot of attention. And that's all because of Sheetal that the Fiji plate is there.
Yeah, no, I actually took the virtual tour. I haven't gotten a chance to go in person, but even then, like, seeing these sort of, like, things that we all resonate with, and you don't realize that it's, like, this is our culture. Like, these are things we identify, but other, like, Fijians, like, native Fijians, for example, they won't be able to identify as much with it, right? So that's the beauty of, like, kind of being Indo-Fijian in this exhibit, too, that I want to just add. But with the exhibit, how do you think this impacts, like, our community, the Indo-Fijian community?
Well, I think since the exhibit has opened, I've seen that there's been a lot of I've actually been overwhelmed with the amount of attention that it's gotten. And to be honest with you, the amount of people that come up to me and say how proud they are that somebody has done this for our community and for our culture has been it's been amazing. I think that's been just that alone has shown that there's people out there who this was needed. This was needed for people to know that we are out there and people are, and we're proud of who we are. And I'm starting to see now that people are coming out and saying that they are proud of being Indo-Fijian, and they're proud of being Fijian, and we're proud of our language and of our culture and of the color of our skin or what have you. These are the things that make us unique and special, and that's something that I'm seeing that is starting to build. And I think we're just at the beginning of that, and we're just starting. But it's been an amazing ride, just nonetheless.
Yeah. And just seeing people in the museum, like your family or whatever, just like really embracing it, because normally you go to something like sort of a wax museum or any sort of museum when you're visiting another country, usually with your family. they sort of browse through and they're like, okay, well, this was cool, I came here.
Yeah.
But we had to drag our families out that night because like I had to go somewhere else. We had a reservation, so I was like, okay, guys, we've been here for like an hour and a half. Like, we're gonna miss our reso. But like, it was so beautiful to see. Like, they were engaged. They were reading everything. They were like, they saw themselves for the first time in a Canadian museum, and that's what's beautiful about it. Is like, we always talk about representation, and like, we don't have representation really anywhere. I think we have like Vijay Singh in golf, and you know, obviously rugby and Fiji water.
Yeah.
and that's all great, but there's way, way more. And he's the only archaeologist that we know that's Fijian.
Yeah.
I don't think I know anyone else, at least here. And for me, it's huge because, like, I'm the only Fijian female jeweler here. I don't know a lot of girls that would go into this. So it was cool to showcase, like, people are asking me questions and, like, how did you do this? And they're interested, and I just hope more people go into non-conventional careers. It would be nice to see.
No, and absolutely. I think this is a definite win for like the Fijian community, like you said, because even as like a young person myself, like growing up and not seeing our representation of like our culture, our history, it definitely leads to identity crisis within ourselves, right? And I really applaud you guys for being able to take up space. And I know we had a conversation about this a couple days ago, but you said that you can't go against the system. You use the system to be able to benefit yourself 100%. And your community, right?
I think we need to do that way, way more.
Yeah, I know that's the thing. Like you guys have taken up space within our like predominantly white and in Surrey predominantly like Punjabi community, and making that space for Indo-Fijians. And like you said, everybody's going, and like their moms, their dads, like they're seeing it and they're engaged with it, and they feel proud that they're seeing this. So I want to like just thank you guys first of all, because I really appreciate being able to see that kind of thing. And I want to ask now, like, how do you think like non-Indo-Fijians can like relate to this, or like what's the benefits for them in being able to go to this exhibit?
The exhibit itself is made. The way I designed it was for two different types of people. It was for the Indo-Fijian people to kind of have an idea of who we are, identify where we came from and why. And to get a sense of pride in who we are. And the other side was for the rest of the community as well, because in the tagline I say, nestled within Surrey's population lies this unique Indo-Fijian community with this tropical island flair. And that's kind of the reason why the title of the exhibit is called Pocket of Paradise as well, because nestled within Surrey is this little pocket, and I want everybody, not just the Indo-Fijians, to be proud of ourselves, but I want everybody in the community to know that we exist. And the last half of the exhibit, or the last third of the exhibit, I should say, kind of identifies some of the social programs and communities and people, Sheetal being one of them, that perpetuate this culture here in our community. So it's more of a for the rest of the community, it's more like an identifier that this community is here, and go out there and seek us and find us and get to know us and appreciate the things that we do. We appreciate, like our cuisine and our culture and our music and things of that nature.
Yeah. So were you ever like concerned in the making of like the whole exhibit, like what the Indo-Fijian community would end up like, or how they would receive it, or what they would end up saying? Was that ever a concern?
I think you were a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a concern to when you put yourself out there. There's always a concern that people will judge you or mock you or even think who are you to do things of these natures. But I had to. I had to honor my dad. If when you go there and you read the exhibit, go there and actually read the text. Spend time there and read what is written there. The actual heart of the exhibit is in the text itself. And in there, I do bare my soul about my father and my life and my history and our history as a family. My dad moving from Fiji to Sparwood, living in Sparwood, and us being the only Muslim Indo-Fijian community, but only one of a handful of Indo-Fijian community members there. Moving from there to Surrey and coming to this huge community of people here, and what that was like, and our experiences, of course, with going back to Fiji and seeing what the relationships, the racial relationships with people were like there. It's all there. It's just hidden within the exhibit. So I think that people should go and definitely take your time and check it out.
Yeah, well, I want to first thank you guys for being here today with me and taking the time out to talk a little bit more about your exhibit. The last thing I kind of want to just leave with you guys is to give the audience, because we have a lot of young viewers, any piece of advice or last message, each one of you.
Do it. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, don't think. I think the more we think, the more you limit yourself, because like you overthink and then you just don't do it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you don't feel like, oh, I need to get more experience and then I can present it. No, just do it. Start. When you look at people that are doing anything out there that's non-conventional, when you look at their very first video, and obviously their most recent, there's a huge difference in growth, but they had to start somewhere and start their base and grow. You will learn and build and grow as you come along. So yeah.
That's some solid advice
Just
I can
go
relate
for
to.
it.
Yeah, this show especially, prime example.
Yeah.
From the first episode till now. Hopefully there's been a little bit of progress that people have noticed, but we'll see.
But I mean, so many, just real quick, like if you look at like Mindy Kaling or Superwoman even,
Oh yeah.
both of those individuals started in things that you're like, this is like pretty sketchy, like, you know, but then they've built this beautiful franchise for themselves now and they're really successful, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rizwan, any
Sure.
word of advice, piece of advice?
Yeah, just don't be afraid to follow what you want to do. Just be yourself, and appreciate that we are all unique, and we're especially more unique. So yeah, go out there, be yourself. You don't have to toe the line. Not always, at least.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that and being here today with me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
I appreciate you both. Like they said, this is the Surrey's Pocket of Paradise, Indo-Fijian Surrey Pocket of Paradise. It is showcased at the Museum of Surrey. If you are in the area or somewhere in the Lower Mainland, definitely go check it out. But if you aren't able to or worried about COVID precautions for whatever reason, respectively, you can also take the virtual tour. That's online. You could go search for Surrey Museum, virtual tour for the Indo-Fijian Surrey Pocket of Paradise museum exhibit. And that wraps us up for today, and we'll be right back after this.
Thank you, Shannon, Rizwan, and Shito. The Indo-Fijian Museum exhibit showcases the history and culture of the unique Indo-Fijian population rested here in Surrey. Please make sure you visit it with your friends and family.
Up next, we will show some highlights from the Canadian Federation of Fiji Organizations Community Awards Gala event. Please have a look.
Hello everybody, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to warmly welcome you on behalf of my executive committee for CFOFO to our first ever CFOFO Community Awards Gala. Not only is this event a first of its kind for ourselves, but it's also our first in-person event in a long time. So it's very wonderful to see some familiar faces, some new faces here gathered today safely. Today, it's been a highly anticipated day for our organization, for myself and my executive committee, as this event was actually originally planned in 2019. We were anticipating for it to happen in May of 2020, but as you all know, a global health crisis was upon us, and we had to postpone that. My team has worked diligently to make sure that this event did not fall through the cracks, and we're very happy to have you all here gathered today. That being said, I want to extend my first thank you to the CFOFO Executive Committee, members and volunteers who have worked tirelessly to put this. In this room alone, we have such a diverse range of community leaders, from those who have served their local religious institutions to those who have provided education and mentorship, as well as those who have also provided for the needy back in overseas in our homeland, Fiji. I take great pleasure in reading through each and every one of the nomination packages that came in for this award ceremony. And as a 22-year-old young individual, it's very inspiring to see all the amazing work that we as a community and our members are doing. Beyond recognizing these exceptional individuals, we're also here to celebrate our Fiji Canadian community. As a whole, we should be proud of ourselves and of one another of the amazing work we do to positively contribute to our society here in Canada. I hope you all can recognize that each individual in this room is a valuable member to our society, and I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. So, thank you everyone for being here today, and I hope you all enjoy the program and feel as inspired as I do at the end of the day.
Banquet Hall and Catering Limited. For the past 9 years, what set Kanda Banquet Hall above from the rest is how helpful, kind, inclusive, and caring Mr. Dinesh and Miss Rosaline are towards the communities. They have supported several organizations such as CFOFO, Miss Fiji Canada, Fiji Rugby Sevens, and much more, and hosting events and raise funds for various causes both locally and internationally. that range from showcasing youth talents and leadership. BC
Lady
Children.
Marama Kina Tuanga. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Arti Naidu.
And I'm Shivani Naiker.
We are the co-MCs for this afternoon's awards gala function.
If anyone wants to take a seat, yeah, you can take
We ran out of time for this episode, but I hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as we love bringing it to you.
You can watch the new episodes of Viti Vibe on the Shaw Multicultural channel every Thursday at 10 p.m. and the reruns on Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or on Thursdays at 11 p.m. and Sundays at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We also upload all our shows online to our YouTube channel called Viti Vibes. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and share the videos with your friends and family.
No show is complete without sponsors, so if you would love to sponsor our show, then please reach out to our producer Camila Singh at 604-537-5123. Finally, before I leave, I'll leave you with these thoughts. Naturally, global peace cannot occur all at once. Since conditions around the world are varied, its spread will not have been incremental. But there is no reason why it cannot begin in one region and then spread gradually from one continent to another. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next time. In the meantime, put on your mask, stay safe, and I'm your host, Pranay Sharma.
And I'm Rebecca Singh.
And we'll be signing off.
Lean back, mild out of state.